Welcome to Normandy, France. In this video, we're visiting some of the most important D-Day and World War II sites in Normandy, including Utah Beach, Omaha Beach, Gold Beach, and the British Memorial, as well as several other museums and memorials in between. We're exploring these places as a small traveling party, myself, my boyfriend, and our small dog, moving slowly through each region, taking it both the weight of the history and what Normandy feels like today. Along the way, we'll share our personal impressions, what it's actually like to visit these sites now, and why this part of northern France is so important to understand, even if you're not a World War II expert. You will also get some historical context about D-Day, Operation Overlord, and the Normandy landings of 1944, but explained in a way that's easy to follow, especially if you're planning a trip, looking into D-Day tours in Normandy, or building your own Normandy itinerary. I hope this video inspires you to plan your trip to Normandy and gives you an idea about what to see in Normandy and how to visit these D-Day beaches. Please note that this is a collection of videos from different days, but if you're short on time and you plan accordingly, you can squeeze all of these stops into just one day trip. Okay, let's see some of the most significant places of World War II, the beaches, memorials, and the landscapes of Normandy.
So all jokes aside, when you drive to Utah Beach, you can also stop nearby, which is a very important place for France. This is the beach at Saint-Martin of Varvi, and this is where the 2nd Armored Division of Free France landed in France in 1944. This is very important because it was actually 4 years since they'd left France. They hadn't accepted defeat to the Germans, and they'd fought in exile, basically, most of them in England, and some of them had actually gone to fight in Africa. This was very significant. The Allied forces, the Americans especially, had already landed at Utah Beach, so that cleared the path for them. But this was a full French division here, although some of the French had also fought with the Allies at Utah Beach. And one of the commanders promised that they wouldn't stop until they put the French flag on the Strasbourg Cathedral. It took a while, but they did do that, and soon enough France was liberated, not just by the Allied forces, but in particular by French forces. So this is quite inspiring to anyone who has lived in exile or considered leaving their home country. As one of these people who hates going back to their home country, I feel very inspired by this indeed. And by the tanks that I'm sure you can use in one of the many simulator games that are now available online. I have friends who are actually addicted to this and consider their efforts just as courageous as the men on D-Day. So we've made it to the immortal Utah Beach, which is one of the 5 beaches where the Allied forces landed on D-Day in Europe and began beating the Germans and basically freeing Europe, if you're reading from the same hymn book. This was a success largely because, from what I understand, the wind blew the forces a few kilometers westwards, where they actually wanted to land. So it meant that there were few German forces. There was less of the famous Atlantic Wall that was defending this here parts. And it's actually pretty impressive because here at Utah Beach there is a memorial, several interesting statues, a few tanks and a few planes, and a lot of plaques to remind us of the people who sacrificed so much for freedom. I'm gonna walk this way, and the dog's gonna walk with me.
Aside for the history things, this is quite a touristic place. It's a huge parking lot, which fortunately is free. There is a museum, as you can see behind me, plenty of monuments, plaques sent from the Americans, the American forces, all sorts of stuff. They have a American plane inside the museum. There's a tank over there. There's also a touristic restaurant. They call it a historical cafe, but I don't know, probably the prices are not historical. It's called Le Roosevelt. And also a souvenir shop, which looks kind of closed now. And also the beach, obviously. They have toilets, everything. So it's quite a huge memorial place. And probably you need to put your dog on a leash. Back to legality.
I'm gathering evidence against it.
Yes. And people from all over the world visit this place. Easy to understand why. However, I do not understand why there are only certain flags here, like Belgium, Canada, the UK, America, France. I think that's the Netherlands.
They were involved.
Norway and what flag is that? Is that
It's Luxembourg.
Luxembourg?
And
Yeah, yeah. I thought so too. So these are the winners of the war.
The ones who were here.
Who were at this
There is one other country.
beach? There's a what?
Another country, but
There's
they were fighting for the other side. So
there was.
they don't get a flag.
Oh. So you only get a flag here if you fought on the right side at this beach site.
Right side of history gets a flag.
So if you're on the right side of history, you get a flag, and if you're on the wrong side, like we were, you don't get a flag.
Well, do you speak German? Maybe you do, but you don't have to. Imagine if you had to learn German grammar. Imagine if there was no other choice. But now there are choices. And more than anything, this is what these people brought. But, you know, seriously enough, you actually see one of the landing, what do you call them? Like landing boats. And there are statues of soldiers coming out of it. And you must imagine how terrifying it must have been to be part of those soldiers. So yeah, a monument to victory, but also to terrible cruelty between people. To the officers and sailors of the United States Navy, whose competence, courage, and sacrifice enabled Operation Overlord, the greatest amphibious invasion in history, Their selfless cause was to destroy tyranny and restore freedom and self-determination. The fallen will never be forgotten. The veteran will always be honored in grateful appreciation. The Naval Order of the United States. We are at Omaha Beach, which is a more famous place of the D landings, or the most famous. We've been at Utah Beach before that. But whereas at Utah Beach the Allied managed to hit the land to debark without much incident, it was different here. The Germans put up quite a resistance. Nearly 2,400 Allied troops died here. And you can just imagine them hitting the beach and trying to get to safety across this sand. Why was it so difficult? Because the Germans had fortified the area, so they were shooting with missiles and guns. But despite all the effort and despite the casualties, it was a victory for the Allied troops that I guess met the troops that had already landed on Utah Beach later on. I'm not much for wars, and this is a pretty hideous place and good remembrance. If you do drive here, what you will be able to see once you park in the assigned parking lot and pay for the parking is a monument to the people who died that day. A modern sculpture as well as some plaques telling you the number of casualties and so on. On the 6th of June 1944, the 1st and 29th U.S. Infantry Divisions were responsible for establishing a bridgehead here at Omaha Beach. The 6-kilometer-long beach had been divided into 3 large sectors codenamed from west to east: Dog facing Vierville, Easy facing Saint Laurent, and Fox facing Colville. The Germans had fortified the cliff with concrete bunkers, installed numerous obstacles on the beach, and built anti-tank ditches and walls at the entrances to the valleys leading to the 3 villages. The GIs who had been landing here since 6:30 a.m. had to take cover from German fire, first behind the pebble bank, then at the foot of the cliffs on either side of the small valley. Finally, between 8 and 9 a.m., several groups succeeded in scaling the cliffs and managed to regroup on the plateau. After a fierce battle, the village of Saint Laurent was liberated on 7th of June at around 9 a.m. So we've been next to a lot of historical sites today, and right now we are at Gold Beach, which is one of 5 beaches that were involved in the D-Day landings. The Allies landed here, and on this particular beach, on Gold Beach, it was the British troops who landed and suffered some major casualties, but as one of the memorials put it, this opened the door to the Allied victory in Western Europe. It's a very interesting place, and we were asked to pay for parking, but it was actually a good thing because they are using that money to create this rather large memorial. And the most impressive part, I suppose, it's this installation that was put up recently showing the silhouettes of various soldiers who died during the conflict. It's very touching. This is something we won't add to the video, but just so we have it. Julia said that it's very hard to see anything when you're climbing up this beach because basically it's a swamp. And I countered by saying, well, judging by all the memorials here, it doesn't look like the Germans had any problem seeing them. This is not a joke we will be able to add, but in this era of censorship, and in the spirit of British humor that I've always liked and favored, this one is for you, Ireland. Where's the Ireland Memorial? Oh, thought the Irish had stayed at home. Well, I did it, I suppose. Yeah, well, that's good. Why do the Irish hate? When people come to their country.
Which is?
Which is Ireland.
And they call it?
Britain.
No.
England.
No.
I don't know.
Well, there's a part of Ireland which is...
Northern Ireland.
Yes, and then they come to Ireland and they call it?
The Republic of Ireland.
Southern Ireland.
Oh wow, Southern Ireland.
And they hate it.
I didn't know that. That's terrible. That's terrible. Well, we also saw the Bayeux Tapestry today. That was very impressive. It was another battle that ended in one arrow flying misguidedly above a field and landing in the head of Harold. Pretty much ended it.
Visiting the D-Day beaches and World War II sites in Normandy isn't just about checking places off a list. Standing on Utah Beach, walking along Omaha Beach, or stopping at the memorials and cemeteries in between makes the scale of what happened here in 1944 feel very real. For us, traveling through Normandy with the beaches, the countryside, and the quiet moments in between was both humbling and emotional. Although we like to joke, because that's how we express our emotions. It's a region that asks you to slow down, to reflect, and to understand why these places still matter today. If you're planning a Normandy itinerary, looking into D-Day tours, or simply wondering what to do and see in Normandy, France, we hope this video helped you picture what the experience is really like beyond all the maps and museums. Thank you for watching and for taking this journey through Normandy's World War II history with us. If you found this video useful, feel free to like, subscribe, or leave a comment. And if you're planning a visit, let us know about what you'd like to see next. A lot of this information you can also find on my blog. The link is in the description box below. Thank you and see you in my next video.